So, parallelograms. Remember yesterday I showed you the way things are split up?
Yeah.
Of the polygons, polygons are split into categories. We've already done triangles. Each of those had their special type of triangles. Then this chapter we're doing quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals has different categories. Today we're doing parallelograms, which you have done some before. So then what's going to come up is there's different types of parallelograms, and then there's other types of quadrilaterals, kites, trapezoids. So first of all, instead of writing the word parallelogram every time, you can just make a little parallelogram like that.
Thanks.
Okay? And the easiest thing to do to show all the properties of a parallelogram is just to draw it. So, in a parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. So this angle is going to equal this one, and this one's going to equal that one. Now, since these two lines are parallel, these are same side interior angles. And what do you remember about same side interior angles? They add up to 180. So any consecutive angle will add up to 180. These two, these two, these two, these two. So if you know one angle, you can find the others. If this is 60, so is that. This is 120, and so is that. Okay? Then opposite sides are congruent. And obviously they're not just congruent, they're what? Parallel. So remember, that's the arrows to show that it's parallel. Okay, and then the third thing, they got that? There we go. Is remember what a diagonal is when you draw it in? Ever remember how to draw the diagonals?
Yeah.
You just connect the vertex to another vertex. When you draw the diagonals, they bisect each other. So this length is going to equal that one, and this length is going to equal that one. So there's four properties. Opposite sides are both congruent and parallel. Opposite angles are congruent. Consecutive angles add up to 180. Yes, put your iPads away now. And diagonals bisect each other. So, it's pretty easy stuff again today. It just has all that to do with this. So here they tell us this is 12. So if they ask you what TU is, it's 12. Simple. Here they're asking what WT is. 14. Because the diagonals get bisected. Same thing with the angles like I showed you before. If you know one, you know them all if it's a parallelogram. This would be 135 because they're opposite. And any two angles in a row are supplementary. So that would be 45. Then we have some where you got to write an equation. So you just need to know the property. What do you know about this angle and this angle? They're equal because they're opposite. If they were consecutive, then they'd add up to 180. So since they're equal, you just say 9x plus 2 has to equal 12x minus 34. And then you solve it. Get the x's together, so subtract 9x to get it over there. Get the non-x's to the other side, it's minus, so you add. And then divide by 3 and you get 12. Like I said before in geometry, there's only two types of equations. The two things are going to either equal each other or they're going to add up to equal usually 180, but sometimes 90, sometimes 360. So here there's a lot of stuff going on in the picture, but the one thing, we've seen this before, the way they draw this, it looks like this angle is 50 because the 50 is in between the two lines. And I don't know why they don't just put it right on the line, but since this goes all the way across, that means the whole angle is 50. That's the only thing that's kind of confusing in those. So to figure out, since this is 50, so is that, right? So there's the answer to that. Measure of angle D is 50. To find EH is there. That other side is 8, so that's also 8. So those are the easy ones. To find the value of Y, that's the side length right here, which we know has to be 21, right?
Yeah.
So 6Y minus 9 has to equal 21, so you just solve it. Add 9, divide by 6. And then to find X, a couple different ways you can do this. This angle and this angle got to add up to 180, right? Or the shortcut is, since this is 50, what does this have to be? 130. So that's the easier way. Quicker way to do it is 7x plus 4 has to turn out to equal 130. So subtract 4, divide by 7, and you get 18. Okay, now this is one where we just got to see if it's a parallelogram. A gemstone's cut, so one of its facets, you know what a facet is on a gemstone or a diamond? The face. It's just the face of it. Has 4 sides. The measures of consecutive angles are 45, 135, 135, and 45. Is that a parallelogram? The easiest thing to do is just draw a little sketch and put these in. Now these are consecutive, so you can start anywhere. Start with the 45, and you can go whichever direction. So it goes 45, 135. If I go this way, I'd put it there. 135, 45. Why is that not a parallelogram? Opposite angles aren't congruent. So you'd say no, because opposite angles, you could just go like that, not congruent. Okay? You know what kind of figure this does make? Right. 45, 135, 135, 45.